Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's look, we are creating this classic holiday look on our beautiful model Caitlin here. We are mainly using One Size Beauty products, but it's because of the holiday collection that just recently came out. Now before we get started, I just want to say I'm not sponsored by One Size Beauty by any means. I literally have just learned to love and appreciate these products as a makeup artist and have found so many great things that have worked on all my clients. So I wanted to go ahead and come here and show you guys what I've loved so far. Now, without further ado, let's get started. So, first things first, we're gonna go ahead and prepare her skin using the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream Moisturizer. I love using this underneath makeup. I just think that it looks so good and it allows for a better foundation application later on. And then I'm taking the Shiseido Eye Opening Eye Essence with a little brush and applying this under her eyes. Again, we're gonna be using quite a bit of makeup, so I wanted her skin to be fully prepared. I'm taking my fingers and kind of massaging this under her eyes too. Next, I'm taking the Secure the Blur Makeup Magnet Primer by One Size Beauty. I know the label's been scratched off. I swear by this product, I've used it a lot. I'm pretty much massaging this onto her skin. Now, I've been really loving this primer a lot, especially for like long wear makeup. It mattifies, it hydrates, and at the same time, it has a component called niacinamide, so it will smooth down your skin and reduce the appearance of pores as well. For her foundation, we are using her foundation, which is from L'Oreal. I think it's the Infallible Pro Matte, if I'm not mistaken. But one thing that I do with a lot of my clients, I usually tend to mix foundation, so that's why I'm not going to start showing them as much. I will still mention the brand and pretty much the effects, just the shades I tend to mix, so I won't be doing that as often anymore, but I'm pretty much just going to smooth this down onto her skin using a sponge. Using a sponge, I find a little bit better because it gives you a lot more of a smoother finish. It's not as much full coverage, but you can always build over it to make it more full coverage. I'm then gonna take the foundation on a small brush and pretty much just get it underneath those areas where it's a little bit harder to get, especially with a sponge. After that, I'm taking the Anastasia Cream Contour Stick in the shade Fawn, and I'm taking this fluffy brush by Morphe, and what I'm doing is I'm pretty much just picking up the product directly from the stick itself and then just blending it onto her skin by using both patting and sweeping motions to get a softer blend. Now we're going to start cream contouring this face. I personally like using cream contours. I feel like it makes the skin look very skin-like. As you can see, it really just melted beautifully onto the foundation and it mixed very well together. I feel like it also gives her a nice healthy glow because when we set her face, we're only going to set certain areas. I usually tend to leave the perimeter of the face pretty bare, so it gives her a nice healthy shine. For her concealer, I'm using two different mixes, so I'm using her personal concealer. I'm gonna go ahead and list it down below because I can't remember exactly which one it was, but I did mix it with the Morphe Fluidity concealer in the shade 225 for a little bit more brightness, and because personally I've been really loving that particular concealer in general. I feel like it leaves the skin looking very smooth and like a soft matte, very creaseless finish, so I've been loving it a lot. As you guys can see, I'm not being shy with it. I'm placing it under the eyes and then blending it out using my sponge. I'm taking whatever is left as well, and I'm pretty much just blending it onto the center of the forehead, the middle of the chin, a little bit of the nose as well, just to bring those areas out and to highlight the center of the face. I'm gonna go ahead and bring the concealer up her eyelids because we're gonna use it as a base for the eyeshadows. Now for her blush, I'm taking the Makeup by Mario blush stick in the shade Pale Petal, and I'm using a really soft brush to apply this onto her skin. Now using a softer brush is really going to give you that very soft airbrush, very diffused blending. Before anything else, I'm gonna go ahead and take my sponge and kind of just blend over the foundation to get rid of any creases that might have formed. Then I'm gonna go ahead and take the One Size Beauty Ultimate Translucent Powder. Guys, I have loved this powder so much. You guys have seen me use it on my channel a lot. I swear by this. I'm first gonna start under her eyes and then kind of work my way around the perimeter of the face where she might tend to get a little bit more oily. I'm also using this powder to bake and highlight underneath her cheekbones too. For her brows, I'm taking the One Size Beauty Brow Kiki Defining Pencil in the shade Dark Brown, and I'm gonna go ahead and just fill in the outer portion of the brows and then lightly work my way towards the center. Even though she is blonde right now, her natural hair color leans more from like a dirty blonde to like a light brunette, so we are using a much darker pencil than what her ends are. And for the star of the show, we are using the One Size Beauty Golden Cocoa Eyeshadow Quad. I'm first taking the shade Oh My Dear on a fluffy eyeshadow brush and just running this through her crease as her transition shade. This palette suited her eyes so perfectly. You guys can see how the blues and the greens from her eyes are immediately brought out because of the warm undertones from these shadows. So it's super duper beautiful, especially if you have light colored eyes like her. I'm also taking the shade Santa Snack on a slightly smaller brush, and I'm using this to deepen up the crease, and I'm mainly concentrating this color on the outer corner and kind of blending it along the lid as a base for the liner. For her liner, we are taking the One Size Beauty Point Made Gel Liner Pencil. This one's in the shade Busty Brown, and I'm gonna go ahead and start creating a small wing in the outer corner. And then I'm taking a smudging brush and just smudging it out to make it look a little bit more smoky and natural. As you guys can see, this is already starting to give her a little bit of a lift. Also using the exact same pencil to elongate the inner and the outer corners of the eye, just by pretty much drawing in the line and with the brush just smudging it out. And this brush was actually a lot better to get into that inner corner too, so I would recommend using that if you want to get that sharp edge. Next, I'm taking the shade Golden Ice from the same palette on a flat brush, and I'm pretty much just running this through her crease before taking a slightly fluffier brush and blending out the shade. With the same pencil from before, we're running this through her waterline just to close everything off before taking a slightly smaller smudging brush and pretty much smoking out the outer corner. To reinforce her liner and to also camouflage the lashes, we are using the One Size Beauty Point Made Bodacious Black liquid liner. I swear, and I love this liner so much. You can see how smoothly it glides onto the lid. It is super good, and it is very waterproof as well and very easy to use. I'm gonna go ahead and just run this through her crease, smudge it out a little bit, and then kind of reinforce some of the shadows in the bottom lash line. For her lashes, I'm actually using these naked lashes that I got from Ardell, which suited so perfectly because of her eye shape. They're kind of smaller and natural, which suited her eye shape perfectly. To top it all off, we're using the One Size Beauty Eye Popper in the shade Pea House, and look at how glam it made this look. Like, it's so beautiful. I love the pigment. I'm using a little bit of that golden snow to kind of blend it in, but it's so beautiful. I'm next taking the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Powder Palette. I'm gonna go ahead and take the middle shade, which as you can see is very loved, and I'm gonna go ahead and take this brush by Makeup by Mario and start contouring the perimeter of her face. And in here, my microphone decided to stop working, so we're pretty much working with another audio system, so if it sounds a little bit different, I'm so sorry. But I'm pretty much removing the bake from under her eyes and then just taking a slightly like fluffier brush and just smoothing down the under eye creases a little bit. And for the highlighter, I'm using this Artist Couture Diamond Glow Powder in the shade Cocoa Bling on the Morphe 510 brush. And I'm pretty much applying this on the highest points of her face, so the cheekbones, bridge of the nose, under the brow, a little bit on the temples as well. This powder leaves a very realistic like glow to the skin. That's why I love using it. I'm also going to go ahead and just contour the nose just a tiny bit. I wanted to go with the typical like vintage bright red holiday lip. So for that, we're using the Morphe colored pencil in the shade Taboo. And lining her lips, I am just slightly overlining the top to get that plump look. Then for her lipstick, I'm using this beautiful red lipstick from M.A.C. I can't remember the shade from the top of my head, but it is from a holiday collection. I'll go ahead and I'll have it listed down below. And I wanted to incorporate a little bit more of a brighter red, so I'm taking the Nikita Dragun Beauty Dragun Blood lipstick and applying that over top before setting the face with the One Size Beauty Until Dawn Mattifying Setting Spray.